Hey, we're live. We're back. Happy Friday. I'm super excited to be here. I think I finally kicked this cough and got some super cool stuff to talk about today. The first of which is this incredibly cool throw blanket back here that the Squarespace Circle team sent me. Thank you. Thank you all so much. I'm super grateful. It came in really gorgeous packaging, this cool box. Check it out. Wrapped and it had like tissue paper in it, and then inside as you opened it up had a nice postcard with a QR code to the Squarespace Circle State of the Web Design Industry 2026 report, which I'm going to get into in just a second. But I want to say thank you for the super cool blanket. I'm a platinum partner. If you don't know what Squarespace Circle is, it's their private community for designers and developers who work on the platform. And it's a great place for us to collaborate, to overcome technical hurdles, get to know each other, collaborate on creative uses of the platform. It's just a really positive and incredibly fulfilling community to be a part of. I'm super grateful for it. I'm super grateful for the Circle team that manages the community. You know who you are. And thank you for the incredibly cool throw blanket. I had it on my lap last night and it was so soft. I thank you again. Now, I want to share the report because it's interesting how different this report is than the 2024 report. And the changes in the industry and how dominant AI has become as a subject matter. And there's a few things going on here. Where's my face? Okay, so in this report, there's a lot of AI-focused questions and content, which stands to reason since it is like the dominant conversation killer or starter, depending upon how you look at it inside of our industry. But that, so what they do is they poll 1,000 designers, and I believe they're all in the Circle community, and we all complete, a questionnaire, and those results are turned into this gorgeous report that the team produces every year, and they have for the last few years. And it's interesting to see that what my peers and I, maybe I'm not over that cold, are showing that 81% of us feel fulfilled and, with AI sort of as our assistant. And I think that there's some contradictory data coming up that is super interesting to look at. So if the use of AI makes people feel fulfilled, like they're working through it and solving problems with more efficiency or better quality, then that's kind of how we would land on this, right? But they're not using it for inspiration. They're still largely, I don't know if you can see this small text, scrolling through other designers' work, finding a good brand story and a mission, or assorted things like real world items. And I'm pointing outside. You can't even see outside, but architecture and signage and packaging and things of that nature, or a really great throw blanket. So it's interesting to see that it's not yet something that's producing work that is inspiring, but I think this is going to flip in the coming years. We're already seeing a few massive AI generated creative sort of aggregate websites with just like eye candy libraries like Dribble that are 100% AI generated. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that in the coming year. Now, this is where we start to get into a little more complexity. So 88% of us in general have used AI to help build client sites. And we say it made a positive impact, but it's interesting to see the number of people who have not used AI to generate content for a client project. And this says content, but this says in more general, help build. So it's interesting to see that 25% in 2024 and 19% in 2025 didn't use AI at all. So that number is dwindling and moving over towards yes, images only, or yes, copy only, and then yes, images and copy, which are fairly balanced, right? It's just continuing to grow. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road. So most people say they have a somewhat positive impact. And fewer said, very positive impact. Very few, no positive impact or no noticeable impact. And to me, some of this comes down to how it's being used. If you have great experience with some of the more advanced tools, I think you can create more impactful things. So as adoption increases, I wonder if this number will move as well. And this is where I used the word contradictory a little while ago. And this is where that kind of starts to come into play, because if there's a lot of pessimism, and as you can see, the pessimism is increasing, even though the usage and the feeling of fulfillment is increasing. That's what I mean by contradiction. If designers are feeling more fulfilled, or they've had positive outcomes in using AI to generate either images or content, but they're also feeling more pessimistic about it, I think that on the surface looks and feels contradictory. I'm not sure it is. I think those things track, because as AI continues to improve at production work and generating things that don't require a lot of strategic insight, then what we're being tasked to do as collaborators or agencies or strategic partners is going to be less about the production and the time involved. In fact, I would argue time is actually been completely eliminated. It's a useless metric or factor when it comes to pricing and talking about the benefits of our service offerings. It's going to be all about strategy and experience and understanding how to connect and communicate. So this is just more pessimism's on the rise. And there's one more thing I wanted to call attention here would be that they're reporting that it's saving them time. And this is certainly not unique to my industry, probably not unique to most of them, that certainly most of us that sit at a desk all day. And if it's saving us time and we're creating more work that's more fulfilling, it's going to be interesting to see where that leverage point lands in terms of the pessimism, and how we start to think about what our role is as experts, as people who are trying to generate exciting work that performs well in marketplace for our clients and for these businesses. So I wanted to just share this overview of this report because I think it's super interesting. I don't know if it's anything that we can take action on. I certainly don't feel like I'm going to make dramatic changes to my workflow because of it, but it is super interesting to see. First of all, I think I answered in positive for almost all of this, and I'm in the majority of almost all of these answers. I think that would be super interesting to see what I responded, because this was done last summer. Like this was a long time ago. So anyway, thank you again, Circle team, for my super cool blanket. And thank you for this cool report. It's gorgeous, and I value reading it. And I hope this was a little bit interesting. Anyway, like, subscribe, leave a comment if you agree or disagree. I'm going to put a link to the report in the description, and we're going to have a conversation about it if you're open to that. I'm happy to answer any questions or provide more thoughts on any of the points inside of it if you drop a comment below. I hope you have a great weekend. Stay warm out there. It is super wintry.